This is a massive problem for guys improving themselves. You've started building a good physique. You're taking care of yourself. You're starting to see a little bit of progress. You're building that lean, masculine, movie star-esque physique. And you're starting to notice some progress in other areas of your life. Maybe you're getting a little bit more attention from girls at work, when you go out, when you're walking down the street, in any social situation. But you're starting to notice that at the gym, you're so focused on making progress and you're in your workout that you're not actually talking to any women. And the sweet angel, the nice girl you want, are the gym girls, because you take care of yourself. You expect your partner or your potential partner to do the same. And I'm going to break down exactly how you can start pulling those girls in and becoming magnetic in these social situations so that you're not becoming the creepy guy that cold approaches every single girl at the gym and ruins his reputation. And this is how I had a girl literally beg me to kiss her at the gym in front of everyone after only talking to her a few times. And I'm going to break down exactly how you can start implementing some of these steps. So not only you become more magnetic to women, but you're also going to become more magnetic and a better communicator. And this is going to help you meet more like-minded guys and be around guys on a higher level. And it's going to open a lot of opportunities for you, not only with dating, but also just with the people you surround yourself with. First of all, fellas, we got to make this really, really clear. This is not a video about how to cold approach girls, how to walk up to them, what to say. When we're going to the gym, our goal is to improve ourselves. This is how we're going to make the most amount of progress in the gym and build the foundation of success for all areas. So if we start focusing on the wrong thing in the place that builds the foundation, we're not going to have any extra attraction. We're not going to be more magnetic at all in other areas of our life. And we're not actually going to see any progress. So it's really important that you go into the gym with the intent to make progress, because people are going to feel the energy if you're going there just trying to approach girls. Other people can sense it, and it's going to turn everyone off. Just because you're focused on your workout and you're intense, every single set you're pushing yourself really hard, that doesn't mean in between your sets or when you're walking in the gym you need to have the same energy about you. You need to have casual interactions. You need to be able to smile, have a short conversation with someone, just literally say, hey, how's it going? This is going to open so many doors for you, because when you're working out, you're going to be a little bit more aggressive. You have hormones flowing, you got tests flowing through your blood, you're getting amped up. I'm getting amped up just thinking about it right now. You need to be able to turn that off in those small interactions, because people are already going to have preconceived notions about you when you are training, especially if you have a good physique. You're going to look more intimidating, you're going to look more ferocious, and people are going to presume that you're just an angry gym bro. That is what 99% of people think about guys that are in shape. It doesn't matter how charismatic or magnetic you already are. If you're only showing one side of you, that's what people are going to see and think of you. So you need to break that perception people are already going to have of you by being friendly. Just having a smile when you walk past someone. Say, hey, how's it going? Because as soon as people actually interact with you and hear your voice, they're immediately going to be like, oh, he's not what I thought he was. But it even happens to me. I see people at the gym all the time and they have like an intimidating, angry face. They're focused, which is totally fine. And I'm like, oh, what's that guy's problem? But as soon as he opens his mouth and says, hey, what's up, dude? I'm like, oh, he's actually a nice guy. See, it's just human nature to make those judgments on people. And you have to be aware of that every single time you walk in the gym, but especially when you're communicating, not even verbally, with your eyes and your facial expressions with other people. And this sets the foundation to how we're going to create this magnetic pull, because without that foundation, you're never going to have anyone want to come up to you and speak to you and get to know you, because you're just going to be the weird, quiet guy that goes to the gym and has a good physique. And this is basically the exact process how this girl literally ended up begging to kiss me at the gym after we had only probably seen each other there 5 or 6 times. But guys, really important that you are not like autistically writing down on a Google Doc steps and outlining it and tracking KPIs on your dating and social communication. Just be natural, be normal, be authentic, and be yourself. As I said at the beginning, it is so important that you go in there with the intent to actually improve yourself and build a good physique. This is just the icing on the cake, the cherry on top, to enhance some of the benefits of being in shape. You need to find natural openers that are simple, relevant, and non-intrusive. The last thing you want to be doing is going up to a beautiful, sweet angel and asking her about all her hopes, dreams, and desires to have a family when you just met her. Or going up to her and being the creepy cold approach dude and being like, hey, you're so beautiful. I see you here all the time. I just want to ask for your number. You have to understand that these gym girls with great bodies that are beautiful are getting this constantly. Doesn't matter if they're at the gym, they're at a cafe, or they're walking down the street. They are getting approached all the time. And you have to differentiate yourself somehow. But the type of gym you go to, where you're located, this is all going to play a role in what your opener is. You need to just have natural ones. And what I mean by natural is relevancy matters a ton. For example, I'm in Bali, right? So a lot of people aren't Indonesian. They're from different countries. They may be traveling. They may be living here. It also depends on the type of gym you go to. Right now, I go to a gym. There's a lot of people who do content work online and people who only live here for a couple of months. So there's like 5 different things you could talk about right there when you first meet someone that wouldn't be weird or creepy or intrusive. Or if you go to like a hardcore bodybuilding gym, okay, the opener is probably going to be pretty different than if you go to a very casual gym that's more like a beach club with amenities. Those places are obviously going to be a lot easier to talk to people because you're surrounded by people that are also traveling. They're also meeting new people all the time compared to a hardcore bodybuilding gym. That's going to completely change the dynamic and the flow of the conversation. As I said, the openers need to be natural, they need to be relevant, and they need to be non-intrusive. Something as small as just saying, hey, do you mind if I work in? If you actually have to work in on that machine or exercise, can open the door up. Because everyone is going to have a perception of you, especially, as I said earlier, you're training, you're intense, you look like you're focused. But as soon as they hear your voice, that thing is going to completely change. And if you have good energy, it doesn't matter what you say. You could literally say, hey, do you mind if I work in? But if the way you say it is energetic, it's interesting, you have some vocal inflections, that can literally open the door for that conversation to keep rolling. And who knows where it's going to go. But this leads into the second thing. You want to keep these interactions short and sweet. At the end of the day, girls are most likely going to the gym for the exact same reason you are, to improve themselves. They probably don't want to get caught up in a 10, 15, 20-minute conversation. But not only that, you need to remember you are there to improve yourself. And there's 2 reasons why this is so important. Number 1 is it's going to build their curiosity. They're so used to guys, as I said, walking up to them, telling them they're beautiful, asking for their number immediately, and maybe they give it to them, maybe they don't, but that's not the point. But they're so used to that, you need to differentiate yourself in some way. And one of the best ways you can do that is build curiosity over time. Not acting desperate, you are there to improve yourself, and they're going to start wondering about you. What does this guy do? Where is he from? Why is he not asking me for my number? And I'm going to get into that and how it actually ends up playing out. Keep it short, sweet, simple, and energetic. You don't need to say that much. You don't need to ask deep, thoughtful, insightful questions. You just need to have good energy. And then what you want to do is leave with intent. Leave the conversation. You don't need to keep dragging on. You don't need to follow each other around the gym or follow her to her next exercise. Let her be. Leave. And then what you want to do is build reps over time. This trust is now compounding, and so is their anticipation and curiosity. They want to know what you're about. It is going to open up a lot of doors because you are unique. You're giving them something different, a different stimulus, and they're going to be super curious about who you are. And I'm going to break down the story now. Basically, there was a sweet angel on a machine. I just so happened to need to use that ab machine as well. So I walked up to her and I said, hey, do you mind if I work in? She says, no, not at all. I said, great. We start working in, doing a couple sets. She's not from around here. Obviously, we're in Bali. So I asked her where she's from. A small question like that can open up so many doors, right? I'm not from here. I've lived in different countries. She happened to have lived in different countries. We just so happen to both live in Thailand. So that starts a conversation there. But we probably spoke for about 3 or 4 more minutes. Kept it super short, energetic, and simple. And she says, I like your energy. What do you do for a living? And I said, I'm an online fitness coach. And she says, wow, I didn't expect that. See, the way you approach these conversations matters more than anything. I mean, your energy in the conversation, because as I said earlier, everyone has a preconceived notion about people who go to the gym. Fitness coaches as well. They're usually kind of gym bros. They don't have a lot to say. They don't have the same type of energy. So that alone can set you apart, and they are already curious about what you do. Anyways, I did like 2-3 sets, put my headphones on, said, great, nice meeting you. I'll see you around, and left. Left the gym, and that was the end of the interaction. Next time I saw her, gave her a smile and a wink, said, how are you? She ends up coming up to me in the gym. We have another short, brief conversation. I get back to my workout. Over time, we saw each other a couple more times, and she would start coming up to me and giving me a kiss on the cheek, saying hello, giving me a hug. Other girls start noticing this as well. But if you're not the guy that's approaching them and cold approaching women, they're going to start wondering, Why does she want to do that to you? They're going to start getting curious about you, and it's going to raise your social status in that scenario or in that environment. And then other women started doing the same thing. So I ended up having multiple women kind of coming up to me, give me hugs, give me a kiss on the cheek, wanting to know about me and starting conversations with me rather than me going to the gym and chasing them all around and trying to cold approach these girls. Anyways, after seeing each other for about 4 or 5 scenarios, the conversation started getting a little longer. Obviously, you can go a little bit more intrusive, if you will, into these conversations, but you still don't want to be creepy. I think we exchanged Instagrams, but I never messaged her, never reached out. And the truth is, guys, I genuinely wasn't that interested in her. She was a beautiful, sweet young angel, but at the end of the day, I was more focused on, myself, my progress in the gym, and I didn't really want to shit where I eat, if I'm completely honest, and ruin my reputation because I had a good thing going there with multiple coming up to me, and I liked the attention. Gave me a little bit of aura and energy. She comes up to me and she starts making more suggestive comments. She starts saying things like, "Oh, you're too slow. Oh, you can't handle a Latina like me." As soon as I started hearing those comments, I knew, oh, she's at the breaking point. She's had enough now. She wants me to make a move really, really badly because it's all she could say to me. All she could say is like sexually suggestive comments, cheeky little things here about how I'm too slow, how I haven't asked her out yet, stuff like that, which is fine. I totally get it. This is the whole purpose of the thing. And because I wasn't interested, I never really escalated things. As I said, I got her Instagram, but I never messaged her. Wasn't really bothered about it. By the end of the workout, she basically comes out to me and says, "Look, I need to talk to you. This is serious." I said, "Am I in trouble?" In front of everyone at the water fountain at the gym, she basically says, "You need to kiss me right now." And I was like, "I don't want to kiss you." And then, anyways, I won't tell you the rest of the story because I don't want to kiss and tell. But if you want to start having situations like this, the most important thing is your energy and your friendliness. You need to be open, you need to be approachable, and you need to have the energy that you actually want people to speak to you. Because if you have a face on where you look unapproachable, people are not going to want to speak to you, right? And you also just need to keep things casual, build trust over time, and just make sure your intentions are focused on improving yourself. And these things will come to you and you will get these situations.